going? This is Russ. This is video number 3 in a series of videos I'm putting on YouTube that show how I build Cigarbox ukuleles. Had to cut video number 2 off a little bit short, so there was no conclusion in that video. My editing software doesn't seem to allow me to go beyond 15 minutes. So this is the second part on how to prep the box in building a Cigarbox ukulele. Alright, so now we've got the main front and back supports, the structure for the box in place. And I just want to work on the Padron box because there's going to be a pickup going into that one, so that's what I'm going to show here. So we want to drill a hole now into the back end of the Padron box. Very important. You've always got to think about your artwork and your sound hole. So this is what the Padron box looks like. So the neck's going to come out here. Obviously I want the cord for the amp to come out on the bottom here. So got this bottom reinforcement piece. Need to make a hole that's going to accommodate this pickup jack, which will go like right in there. Actually, I pre-marked it before I made the turned the camera on, but so that's what we're going to do now. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can use a paddle bit. These are great drill bits if you're like trying to like tap a tree for maple syrup, but they're really destructive. They're cheap and they work great for like large projects, but you're dealing with kind of like an artwork piece here, so I would recommend not using this and going with a Forstner bit. So this is a Forstner bit. This is actually still pretty sharp, but I've used this thing like 100 times. But this is a much better bit as far as like controlling like the blow away and the splintering. When you drill a hole with that. So just gonna put that in real quick. And I normally would use my drill press, but I'm trying to video this and my drill press is kind of like buried right now, so you can do it like this, but I highly recommend also clamping it down. Just secure it so it doesn't move not too much. So clearly I have like 20 years worth of work on this wood here, so I don't care if I damage it a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to frame this at some point in the future and just call it industrial art. But for now, I don't care if I drill into the table wood. So just clamp down. I'm trying to find the center point here. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so now it's time to secure or adhere these front and back reinforcements. So what I do is just take a pencil and outline where they're at. This just gives me a little bit of a guide on where I want to put my glue. So just marking the insides. So I'm going to use glue now to complete the reinforcement parts. And you need 2 things, glue and an ear cleaner. So this is like the most valuable tool, this and the toothpick. I do furniture restoration also on the side, so I actually use these things a lot. So I use Tight Bond too, like it. Not an advertisement or whatever. it just seems to work really well for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a small bead, and the key is like small. You don't want to like coat the hell out of this thing with glue. I've seen videos where people do furniture restoration, musical instruments, all kinds of other stuff where they use wood glue. They like just slather the glue everywhere. There's something I learned a long time ago from an old fart, not something I learned on my own, something someone taught me once, and that is the glue rule. And the glue rule is too much glue is much worse than not enough glue. So you don't have to like kill the thing with glue. You just want enough glue on there to hold your piece in place. Secure a nice tight bond. I mean, it's good to get into the creases. And then just like a little bit of a smearing along the surface that you're going to, well, in this case, put the reinforcements in. So there you go. Hopefully the camera got that. I'm not too far away. So that, now that that's in place, it's still wet enough for me to make sure everything's positioned correctly. I will throw these away. And now it's time to clamp. So, note, always clean your glue bottle off because it makes it really hard to open it up again if the glue dries on there. So, that's that. I use what I call clamping pads. Just basically crap wood leftovers. Doesn't matter so much on the inside, but on the outside you want to protect the finish of the box from your clamps so you don't put an impression in there. So this page is pretty shallow, so I can do this. Just want to clamp that stock in there and let that glue take effect and secure that to the inside of the uke. So this is boring, but try to do 3 clamps per. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so boxes are all reinforced right now. Hopefully you can see that. So the last step is to finish drilling the hole for our pickup jack. So this is what the jack looks like, and when you hold it up to the box like this, you can see there's really not a lot of space outside of the jack for the nut that holds it in place to engage. So what I want to do is just countersink or counterbore just a little bit into this wood, not a lot, because this box thickness wood is really what's going to be holding that jack in place. So what I did was try to find the center of the pocket where the jack goes. What I do is I just use these outside lathe calipers and just like make a little mark there, and then just kind of start, do like a guide hole to start it. Just use a dart for that. And again, I'll go back to the Forstner bit, and I'm just going to put a small pocket, maybe like not even like 1/8 of an inch deep. So then get a pocket small at the right size too. You can put the washer in there, and then the nut that secures. So next I'm going to take just this little center hole that was created by my Forstner bit, and I'll drill a small pilot hole in there, and then I'll just do a larger size hole that'll fit the edge of the outside thread of this pickup. Okay, so the boxes are prepped, so that turned out pretty good. That's what your jack's going to look like. I do recommend using Loctite when you assemble this in the end, which we're not even close to. This will come back out because there's more things we need to do to the box, but that should hold well enough. Never had a problem with them coming off. We've got our reinforcement. Everything's been sanded or finger planed down to make sure it all matches. Okay, so this concludes the video, this section of the build. We've built 2 decent boxes. They're robust, structured well. They're going to work well for musical instruments, and we haven't compromised the sound we're going to get out of these. So thanks for watching. The next video is going to be a lot shorter. I'm going to talk about how to plan out the layout of the box and then look at pre-planning the neck build, which is much more complicated. So thanks again, and TTFN. Ta-ta for now.